Full disclosure, a review copy of this game was provided to me either by its publisher or development team. Vampyr, it doesn't suck. Brace yourselves, this is gonna be a tough love review. Vampyr is a third-person action-adventure RPG where you play as Dr. Jonathan Reed. You're dead. Well, you're undead. You're a vampire. Things happen that set you out to get answers and to save early 1900s London, which is where this game is set, during the 1918 Spanish flu. The game takes place in an open world with vampire hunters crawling the streets. You're given tasks that are marked on the map, and you spend the game's 13-hour-long campaign going from place to place. At first gathering materials from the hospital that takes you in. In between all these areas, of course, are enemies wanting you dead. Lucky for you, you're a vampire. You have a skill tree that you dump your experience into that's earned off of these enemies, and that you get from completing quests and side quests. And at the end of these missions, there's usually a giant boss to take down. Test out your skills, switching between one-handed and two-handed weapons, stunning enemies so you can bite them and drain their blood, which allows you to use these moves you've unlocked in your skill tree that not only need blood but run on a cooldown as well. And then the rest of the game you're investigating and gathering information. I guess you could say you're London's Batman. This is when the game really starts to come to life. You gather hints from characters that will unlock new dialogue options of other characters, and you go back and forth gathering info on the location of a person you're searching for. But more importantly, this is where the whole you being a vampire thing comes into play. You can play this game as a good vampire, controlling your thirst for blood, or you can be like me, a naughty vampire, sucking all the blood. If you see someone out there looking like a snack, they can be. You can mesmerize characters, bring them into the shadows and drain them of their delicious blood, granting you a massive XP reward. You're rewarded for being bad in that you can afford more skills. You become a more powerful vampire, thus the game is easier for you. But by doing so, chaos will break loose in the territories that you take too much life from. And this is where I had the most fun, in the role-playing of a vampire, of getting my victims to invite me inside. And little do they know I'm just a little thirsty. But now comes the tough love. Crazy all over the place story that I couldn't follow it all aside. Vampyr is essentially a mid-life cycle PS3 game. There's so many mistakes made in this open world that just makes this game painful at times. For starters, there's no fast travel. There are hideouts spread all over this map where you can rest and spend your XP, refill your ammo, upgrade the weapons you find in the world, but you can't fast travel to a single one of them. And it's not like the game slowly moves you along the map, no. These missions will have you running back and forth across this world constantly. This is made worse by the annoying decision to lock every single gate in the game. You can't just run from territory to territory because they're going to put a gate in the middle of the street that if you didn't unlock from the other side 7 hours ago, you're going to have to run all the way around the map again, dealing with other locked gates and paths. But alas, it gets worse. It's not as simple as running from one place to another. There are enemies all over the place and you can't interact with unlocked gates or doors while enemies are around, forcing you to have to engage in combat before moving forward. But it somehow gets worse. The combat here is sluggish, slow, and unfun. Special attacks use way too much blood for how little damage they do, and to get more blood you have to do enough stun damage for an enemy to be vulnerable to be bitten. Fights just drag on forever. I'm a vampire. I want to feel like an untouchable god when I'm dealing with these hunters and vampire rejects in the streets. The only time the combat is fun is during boss battles. Boss battles are addictive and challenging, forcing me to strategize. It's like the combat was made only with boss battles in mind and the street enemies weren't balanced. Fighting them isn't fun, they're a nuisance, it's a chore. But it gets worse. You're not even fairly rewarded for dealing with these garbage encounters. These annoying spongy enemies crawling all over the place only gain you 5 to 15 XP each. Higher level upgrades cost about 2,000 XP each. That means you have to kill 130 to 400 for one single upgrade. I don't know how this ridiculous unbalance and risk reward was overlooked, but it was. These enemies are far too much of a threat for you to need to kill 400 of them for an upgrade. Get out of here. That being said, Vampyr is still a good game. I enjoy the game. It's currently one of my top 20 games of 2018 so far. I'm just baffled at the PS3 era mistakes made in a 2018 game. Thankfully the story, the world, and role-playing save this game. It may not be fun fighting as a vampire, but it's fun interacting with the world as a vampire. I give Vampyr a 7 out of 10. If you played Vampyr, tell me what you thought about it down in the comment section below. If you haven't played it, tell me if you plan on picking it up. Thumbs up. If you liked the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks for watching.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by skull?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
If you like this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue to bring you reviews for all the newest games at patreon.com/superkengaming. You'll get access to early audio and video versions of reviews, exclusive Let's Play videos, and you'll even get to choose the game I play next. Thanks for watching, and of course, stay beautiful.